Hey there, Coach Devin here. Somebody messaged me yesterday and he asked a little bit about my thoughts on Joan MacDonald. Now, Joan MacDonald, if you don't know who she is, she has become very famous in the fitness world. She's a 73, maybe even 74-year-old lady right now who completely changed her body. Absolutely 100%, looks like a totally different person. I'll throw a picture right there. This is Joan MacDonald. That's her before and after. Now, before, she looks like the sort of what you would assume a 73-year-old grandmother who's never exercised a day in her life looks like. Okay. She looks very, very different now. And you know what? My hat, he is off to Joan. I think it's amazing. I love seeing success stories. There's nothing better than a success story. I got into the business I'm in for a couple of reasons. First reason, I thought it would be a fun job during university, and lo and behold, I'm in 26 years later, I'm still doing it. And second off, I like helping people. I like interacting with people, and I like helping people change their lives. I've had some amazing transformations with clients of mine. One of the things we do in my gym is called Project Fit. I also have a program online called Project Fit Online. My goal has always been to help people change their lives and change who they are. I think physical fitness, I feel very strongly that physical fitness is something that everybody needs. You need it. And you know what? It'll make you a better person. It makes you a happier spouse, a better parent, a better employee, better business owner, better boss, whatever you want to be. It makes you better because it takes your stress level down, changes how you think about the world. Now, a lot of people don't agree with that. Some people say, it's going to make you, self-centered. I don't agree. I think fitness changes your life in positive ways. So this guy said to me, Devin, what do you think about Joan MacDonald? And I said, look, I messaged him back. I said, look, for me, I think it's great what she did. He said, but do you think it's real? Is it natural? And I said, okay, I don't know about that. I did do a video on this with my buddy Jason Ward about Joan MacDonald and sort of a natty or not. And we were talking about Joan MacDonald. And he said, but I'm not even so much concerned about whether or not she's, natural or not. I'm concerned, is this a good thing to push out there for people? Is this important? Do we need to see it? And is it a good thing for us to see a 73, 74-year-old grandmother who looks like that? Is that a good thing? And you know what? That's an interesting question for me, because I look at it in a number of different ways. I believe strongly in physical fitness. Like I said, I think fitness is super important. I think everybody is better when they're fit and feels better when they're fit. And it helps us all with healthcare dollars. And it helps in a lot of ways. But is looking like a Joan MacDonald person, is that good? Is that something that is healthy for people to look at and say, A, is it attainable? And B, is it something that, you can look at and say, okay, yeah, that's something that I think is good for kids to see and adults to see. Now that's getting into some interesting questions. I've often wondered if or not, is it good or not to have people who are super fit on the front of, newspapers or magazines all the time? Is that a healthy thing? And you see, Oxygen magazines and stuff like that. You see that picture up there. Is that healthy to see some woman with abs ripped to death? Is that good? Does it send the right message? Is it setting up women out there for failure? Is it putting more stress on women than they already have? Women have an inordinate amount of stress on them. A huge amount of stress is on women to look a certain way, to act a certain way. There is enormous amounts of social pressure on women to look and be a certain thing. Is that healthy? Is that not healthy? That's a tough one. And I'm not going to get into the social side of it as much. I do think that is something that's important. And I think that it's probably not healthy for women to have this constant pressure of, you have to look sexy and you have to, have your makeup done all the time. And, you have to be perfect at all times. That's not healthy. So the question comes down to, is it healthy to have somebody out there who's uber fit at 73 years old? Is that setting up women for feeling bad about themselves because they don't look as good as she does at 73 or 74 when they're, 40? Is that fair? Is it right? Is it good? Does that set, women back? And that's what he was really asking. Is this setting women back? Are we saying to them, you have to be fit now, and if you're not fit, you're a failure? That's a tough one. That's a tough one because you know what? I believe, again, like I said, I believe in fitness. I think it's super important. However, do we want to guilt trip people into being fit? I don't know. I don't think that's healthy. I've chosen to, follow a profession for myself where I want to be fit all the time. And one of my clients one time said to me, "It's got to be tough to be your kid because it's you. You're walking around and you're super fit all the time. Is that a good thing?" That's a very good question. My thing with Joan MacDonald, whether or not she's natural, I don't think it's a bad thing to put out there for people that this is attainable. This is something you can do. Should it make you feel bad about yourself? No. I think what we should do is try to applaud all those people out there who do well. We should, rather than setting us up and setting each other up for, is that good? Am I as good as that person? Am I as tough as looking as that person? Do I look as good as that person now? Do they look better than me? Those things I think are unhealthy. I think they're very, very unhealthy and they do bad things. Everybody does it. Hey, I do it too. But that's not a healthy way to do things. It's not a healthy attitude to have. It's bad. Setting yourself up against somebody else, not good, especially when you're getting pictures. I think Joan MacDonald, super fit woman, obviously a very fit woman. She's done some amazing things. Are those pictures 100% legit on her on just an average walk around day? Probably not. No one posts a picture on social media nowadays where they just look half decent. They post the best picture. They put on filters. That's okay. It happens. So what I think, in my response to him, and my response to everybody now, is it healthy to have a Joan MacDonald out there saying this? It is healthy in this way. It's positive for her to say, this is attainable. You can go do this if you put some time and energy. It doesn't matter what age you are. You can be 73 years old, or you can be 33 years old, or 23 years old. You can change your body. You can change everything about yourself if you choose to, with hard work and dedication. That's important. One thing just to remember is don't compare. Don't say, I have to look like that. You don't have to look like that at all. You can look like whatever you want. That's the joy of things. We have freedom of choice. We can do whatever the heck we want to do out there. It's all good. Just understand when somebody posts a picture like that, when I post before and after pictures of clients and me or whatever, that is to make people feel like, hey, this is attainable. I can do that too. It's not to beat anybody down. So it is all in how you look at it yourself as to whether or not it's healthy. And I always choose to look at these things as being a positive. That's how I choose to look at them. Is this a positive for Joan MacDonald to be out there? I think it is a positive. I think what she's done is amazing. Whether or not she used drugs is beside the point. This is what your human body can do if you put time, energy, and hard work into it. So I shout out to Joan MacDonald. I think it's great. For Keith123, that's my answer, brother. I think it's not a bad thing. I don't like social pressure on women because I think women have a lot of social pressure now. However, I want to look at a Joan MacDonald as being something that we can attain, aspire to be like. We can say, that's attainable. I can do it too. Everybody have yourself an amazing day. Stay safe out there. Don't fight the awesome.